Let's continue our conversation about The Backroom Boy. It's a captivating book about a long life in the struggle for freedom, both before and after democracy in 1994. The book follows the life of struggle stalwart Andrew Mlangeni, and of course he was selected as one of the first ever 6 members who received military training in China before the formation of Umkhonto, weSizwe. We've got Andrew Mlangeni in studio with us, and it really is a pleasure to have him here. Thank you for staying with us and for being with us on the program.
Thank you, my dear.
Oh, it's such a pleasure.
I must correct this. I was in prison for 26 years and 4 months.
You need to correct us. 26 years
and 4 months.
And 4 months.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible. And your whole life has been dedicated to fighting for freedom. That's what you stand for.
Absolutely.
That's who you are. But of late, even though we read your memoirs and we see where you've come from, lately you haven't been happy. You haven't been happy with what you've been seeing.
Not at all. I've not been happy because a lot of things which are not correct are happening. The African National Congress at the moment is divided, which is an unfortunate position because for the ANC to lead the country properly, its membership must be united, there must be no division at all. Because we believe as members of the African National Congress that only the African National Congress can correctly lead this country, as we have taken the lead in bringing about freedom and democracy in the country. We think we are its only organization that correctly can lead the country to future heights.
Yeah.
Economically, politically, socially, and otherwise. But as I say, things are not quite right at the moment, and the ANC is divided.
Yeah, which is something
unfortunate about it.
I think one of the saddest things that I read at the time when one of your comrades and your friend and fellow Rivonia trialist died, Ahmed Katrada.
Yes.
You went on to say that he died an unhappy man. And that, I think, has to be one of the saddest statements for your friend who also, like you, spent his entire life fighting for the freedom of this country. And I imagine it's something that you desperately want to see change, is this situation, this division in the ANC that you're talking about. That's not what the foundation of the principles of the ANC are all about, and what we read in this book.
It's unfortunate. Kathy is one man who spent his entire life struggling for freedom, for the liberation of people in the country. His entire life, my dear. I think since the age of 11, as he normally used to say, he was already struggled and engaged in the struggle, helping in distributing pamphlets and leaflets and so on at the age of 11.
Yeah.
So you can say right up to the time he passed away, he was still involved in the struggle. So his entire life was spent in the struggle for liberation.
Yeah.
It's very sad. Although we can't avoid it, we can't avoid death. But it's very sad that he passed away, leaving the country in the position in which it is today. Very, very sad.
Yeah. When we look at the name of the book is The Backroom Boy. It basically talks about somebody like you in your position, very much so the background guy, the guy who was there supporting, but somebody that didn't really ever want to take up this massive leadership position, even though you were a member of parliament in the years of our former president and the late Nelson Mandela. But it's almost as though you enjoyed more being in the background and more being that voice of reason. And perhaps yours is the voice we need to hear now. And if you had a moment to sit with the ANC, with the president, with the top 6 of the ANC right now, what would you tell them? What is the advice that you would give our leadership?
I have told the leadership of their mistakes. And I don't think I'm free at the moment to discuss some of the things openly.
Of course.
But I've told the leadership, the top 6 in particular, where the mistakes are, and requested them to do certain things. I'm not free to mention some of the things he said, but, I'm afraid.
But you have sat with them. You have spoken to them.
We have spoken. You see, I'm the chairperson of what we call the Integrity Commission.
Indeed.
Now, the Integrity Commission has taken a decision about the happenings in the country, and we have made certain suggestions. I'm not free to tell you the suggestions we made, because we are saying that it's only the leadership that should say these are the things which this commission is saying about us, and take these matters up with the NEC. And NEC must take a decision.
Indeed.
You know, and see how best to implement our
recommendations to them. I see that that the former president Kgalema Motlanthe he's a patron of your foundation as well. He's written the introduction, and he said here, just at the back, it says, "The time is right for a book to be written on the life and indeed contribution of one of the most self-effacing, humble and yet enthusiastically committed souls to the moral struggle for dignity, unity, justice, fairness and equality among human beings." What did you take out of this book? Were you happy with it? Do you feel that it showed you and the work that you put into the struggle?
It should have long come out a year earlier.
Okay.
But I wanted to read every word and see that everything said about me is correct.
Yes.
So I delayed. I took time in reading the manuscript.
Yes.
And correcting whatever I could correct.
But now you feel that this is a good representation.
I think it's a correct interpretation.
Yes.
Of me.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, it's being released.
I'm a person who's been, wanting to be in leading positions. But if you, Leanne, want to be a leader, and you want me to elect you, you want people to elect you into position, and I'm in a position to help that. That's the work I was doing in my whole life.
Indeed.
I'll work for you to be elected.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
You don't want to be at the forefront.
I don't want to be in the forefront
and
say elect me.
Yeah.
No, but if you say I must elect you, I'll work for you to elect you.
Indeed.
That's why the Backroom Boy title.
We all need.
I prefer to work from behind.
We all need a guy like you in our lives. We all do, and I think everybody that has had you has been exceptionally grateful. The book is being published. Well, it's published already, but it's being released on Thursday. So we're very happy to have had one of the first previews of this book. In fact, I cannot wait to jump into this book and start reading it. We leave it there for this morning. Andrew Mlangeni, the Backroom Boy, talking to us here on Morning Live.